This is your #1 source for news and information at the 57th YMCA Model Legislature in Court. Why Witness News with Alex Barha, KYNG TV, Sacramento.
Good evening, delegates. This is KYNG, and I'm Alex Bach with your nightly news. We have an excellent show for you, filled with love, lust, destruction, chaos, and even more twists than the OC. Earlier today, the Senate and Assembly rumbled as numerous bills were killed. Our producer, Christina Davis, has got the inside story.
Good evening, YNG. My name is Christina Davis with today's special report. Sparks have been flying in the Senate and Assembly as a number of bills have been killed by state legislative analyst Joe Sutrov. Governor Javier Lopez Ayala expressed his emotion at a press conference earlier this morning.
I will be addressing the legislative houses later today to urge them to move forward with these progressive reforms, to urge them to change California for the better, and to remind them of the promise and the goal I asked in my opening message, which was to rededicate ourselves to the task of building a world of social justice, a world of peace, and a world of prosperity.
How much is this legislation going to cost in your best estimate?
Actually, our legislative analyst has not given us an actual price, but when I have spoken to the Honorable Joe Sutrov, I have told him that on my priority legislation, we also have bills that, again, decrease our state budget by $80 million a year, that will not only cut the budget, but I believe, and what I ran on last year, was eliminating the bureaucracy.
Do you plan on compromising with Joe Sutrov on any of these bills?
We have gone to the legislative analyst and tried to compromise, but he is intent on destroying the future of California, and he is intent on getting this legislation defeated, and this is legislation that needs to be passed now, or our children will not live in a California that we want to see. And although I am aware of the problems we are having with our finances, I am also aware that by giving kids a better education, by allowing them to go to college, by testing prisoners for HIV, by putting a health care plan out there for the poor and for and the elderly in California, that we will in the end be saving California money.
We decided to get Joe Sutrov's opinion on this issue. Our very own Sachin Goel has the story.
Hi, this is Sachin Goel, reporting here with Joe Sutrov, the state legislative analyst.
Yeah.
Why have so many bills been killed?
This year we have a $9 billion budget deficit. That means not only do we have no money, we have less than no money. So we really can't pass bills that are going to cost the state, and therefore a lot of the legislation that gets put into the two houses does cost money, and because of that, it can't go through. If we want the state to stay healthy, we can't afford it.
What kind of bills are you killing?
Anything that really has a large fiscal impact, basically something that's going to affect immediately, that's going to take effect this year. Basically, if the legislation is going to be passed through the House and the Senate, hit the governor's desk, and then take effect, and it's going to take a lot of money out of the budget, and it's not telling us, a lot of it doesn't tell us where it wants to take it from. Most of the time, it's really just that they want to spend money that we simply do not have to spend.
Were you aware of the fact that Javier was not happy with the negation of these bills?
Absolutely, but he's been so understanding as far as everything goes. We've been having like a really great time working with the governor's office, and his cabinet members have been really great to us. And this is a year for the legislative analyst to be a presence and basically allow the governor's office to be a presence as well. And it's tough when there's no money to pass it, but it's been awesome working with him, and I look forward to continuing it right now.
Thank you very much.
That's all. Thank you.
Even though there is a little bit of controversy, it is only natural and fun in the world of politics. I'm Christina Davis reporting for KYNG News. Back to you, Alex.
Thank you, Christina. Now we head over to the courtrooms where Alexa Call has got the exclusive on the jury selection.
Hey guys, this is Alexa Call reporting to you from the courthouse in Sacramento. Jury trial is different from other courts in that they use a jury as opposed to a judge. Jury trial is a prestigious process in which 15 out of 80 delegates are selected for attorneys and judges. We are waiting for jury trial to enter and be seated before we select our jurors for today.
Right now we're going through a process called voir dire, which is basically the process of selecting a jury. many pages and lobbyists and other members of youth in government who have free time right now are going to be coming in and trying out to be in our courtroom. The attorneys will ask them a lot of questions concerning just basically what they are, who they are, I don't know, just stuff about themselves to see if they have any sort of, if they'd be biased to be a jury or a juror member, and just to make sure they're fitting for our case. So that's what we're doing today, and tomorrow is our trial. Yeah, so as a judge, I'm just going to be basically directing the entire court process and just making sure everyone stays in control and everything's going good.
Thank you. This has been Alexa Call reporting to you from the courthouse in Sacramento. Back to you in the studio.
Now I know your favorite source of news is KYNG TV, but if you happen to walk past the Tahoe room on the second floor of the Hyatt, you've probably seen our print media journalists hard at work. Here's Andrea Forster with more on the news.
I'm sure you've seen the stacks of YNG newspapers laying around, and hopefully you stopped to read some of the articles. But you probably never imagined the amount of work that these young men and women put into the paper to create new and interesting stories each day. Let's take a glimpse into one day in the life of the press corps.
It's a very time-consuming job. Last night I got the night off, but the night before I was working until almost midnight doing layout and just helping out. A lot of our reporters have a pretty easy schedule. They don't have to, they get an article in the morning, they write it during the day, and they're done. But the editors have to be there all day editing articles and working on layout and just getting the paper out all in a day. It's a pretty tough job. You know, delegation dinner last night was pretty much the first time that I'd seen my delegation since I got here on Wednesday.
Actually, I'm here for probably about half the day, and it just kind of goes on and off, and it depends on how busy we are and if there's computers open, because if there's not computers open, then you don't have anything to do, but it just kind of depends on what's going on.
At about 10:30 p.m. the night before the paper is published, the section editors design its layouts. They then assign the article topics that had been brainstormed earlier that day. The next afternoon, the group holds a brainstorming session in order to volunteer subjects for the next paper. The rough draft of the articles are due at 2 p.m., then are edited at 3 and finalized at 3:30. This is Andrea Forster for KYNG Eyewitness News.